So I heard through the grapevine. That you were a little confused about your reading. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I thought my alter ego could handle it. I've been busy. But since you're here, I know she could be a little quiet. So how about I give you a little perspective? You know, a lot of the times, people see you the way you see her. Statuesque, perfect, quiet. No hints. No help. Match my perfect, or why should I talk to you anyway? I get it. But what you're mad about in her is what you're mad about in you. Yeah! Here we go, here we go, here we go. Some information, please. Stop playing with your self-worth. Stop playing with the self-worth of others. Value is not to be played with. The silent routine is cruel. And helps no one. Damn, I hate to be that person, but I have to leave soon. I'm meeting someone after, and I just want to make sure. Yeah. Gotta go soon. I have appointments, you could say. A very specific clientele. But I'm glad we got to spend this little bit of time together. Remember, there's no value in devaluing others. And you're overthinking. All your overthinking does is feed your ego. Like I said, I gotta go. But it was nice to see you. Bye. Hi, Virgo. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. The Madonna horror complex, huh? That's going to make a lot of sense when we talk about what the month is like. So, if you were irritated by the silence of the first part and the noise, the abrasion of the senses of the second part. All I can really say to you is welcome to November. So here's what's happening. You have these two conflicting energies around you. On the one hand, you're very attractive, and everybody wants to be around you, work with you, date you, talk to you, fall in love with you. And on the other hand, you're not feeling very social. You're not feeling very open. You're a bit distrustful. You are having some financial doubts. You are a little bit worried about the direction of your career. You're wondering if maybe it's too much in one direction and not enough in another. You're thinking about balance. You have so many material Virgo-centric things on your mind that this very attractive energy that's pulling everybody in is almost a nuisance. It's an annoyance. It's causing an undue amount of pressure on a situation where you really want to be focused in a completely different place. Okay. Now, of course, it would behoove you to be more open and not be quite so introverted and closed off, because the more isolated you are right now, the more it will be a tower moment when these two conflicting energies meet up, right? People really want to be around you and you don't want to be around anyone at all. If you can go from ambivalent to receptive of their energy, which is a huge jump, I understand, it will be easier for you, and that balance that you're looking for, which is why you're running away from the attention anyway, ironically, you will find by embracing and being open to the attention that you're being given. Now, remember, being open to that attention does not mean you have to absorb it. Yes, of course, you're very respectful, especially Virgo risings. You want to be very present. You want to be very engaged with whoever is speaking to you. But at the same time, this does not mean that you need to take on their energy. I think Virgos do this because you're naturally healers and you do it without realizing that you're doing it. It's just something that your energy does, right? So if you open up and you're receptive and not absorb their energy, but consciously shield yourself from it, okay? But be receptive to whatever ideas they have or whatever they're trying to give you, and then sort through it and take what you want, you have a good chance at finding balance, and finding balance at a time where it's like you're working against yourself. A lot of people want to give you a lot of attention, and this is when you've decided that you want to play hard to get. And then as soon as they stop trying, then you're going to be regretful and sad that now they're not trying anymore. So maybe try a different approach. Now, when it comes to people that have been together for a while, a job you've been at for a while, a contract you've been fulfilling for a while, just reassess who is the authority figure there. Are you taking on more than you're supposed to? And is it appreciated or is it obnoxious? Right? Because you can't resent others for not doing their part when you do their part for them, even without informing them that you're going to do it in the spirit of, I guess, I don't know, efficiency, perhaps? If you let people do what they're supposed to do and what they need to do for themselves, and instead focus on you, pull back from them, and use your energy to take risks in areas where, you know, maybe you do have a point. Maybe you're being introverted and a little bit closed off because the monotony is getting to you. Maybe it is time for a little reinvention and to take a bit of a risk. You know, you don't believe that you only take risks when you have to. you understand intellectually that sometimes you take risks because inspiration is so much more important than anything else. And to be inspired is the only way you can truly live. And if you're not inspired, you're kind of just pushing through the days, and maybe it's enough of that. Maybe part of the reason you're closed off when all these different opportunities and all these people are coming to you is because you don't you don't want to move forward. You don't want to address those areas where perhaps a different approach is needed. You don't want to integrate something new, and perhaps have to admit that some of your characteristics that you lean on are not helpful moving forward, right? So you have this Madonna horror energy to you, where there's one part of you that is so intensely seductive to people right now, and they can't really put a finger on it. It's not even really sexual, if you can understand that. They just want to be around you. But when they get around you, you're giving them this cold, silent treatment as if you are a statue. And it is quite typical behavior when you get stressed. And it's very misunderstood. So the way to mitigate any future misunderstandings and not end up in that Four of Cups energy is really to understand that, understand how you are being perceived. It's very well illustrated for you in the first two parts, and work against that. Make sure that you go out of your way to sympathize with people who are being attracted to you right now, and then perhaps be a little easier on them when they try to get a reaction out of you, and you want to ice them out. You don't even know why you want to, but you just want to. And maybe give them a little bit. Maybe take a little bit of a risk and say something back. Also, this has to do with control. Let's not forget that this need to dominate, this need to win, this need to be in control. This can also manifest as stagnation, because sometimes we need to be in control so bad that we can't move forward because we can't meet anyone new, and we don't have the wherewithal perhaps to do something new, or to learn something new, or to work at something new, because we don't have the energy, we don't have the confidence, we don't have what it comes down to is that we know we don't have control of the situation, so we don't want to engage in it. And so in that way, being a control freak can really stagnate you. And there are probably a lot of you who are ready to let go of that control, whether it's because a relationship is disintegrating, or because you are changing as a person, or perhaps you've become too saturated in whatever you're doing in your career, or whatever it is. You're ready for this very personal, very quiet rebirth, and no one has to know about. It's not something that people will be able to necessarily tell. They won't be able to see it on you. But it will fundamentally change the direction of your life right now. And I think you know that, and I think you know you need it. And it's only then that you can really talk to your family and your friends and get them on board with whatever it is that you want to do next. You've got to have a clear picture of what you want before you can convince anyone else. But what I would like to impress on you is what you're working at now, you're not happy with either. So it's not like an either or. This is just something that's upon you now. And it's a good thing. And it should be viewed as a good thing. If you, of course, take in this High Priestess energy and embody it, then you'll understand that it is a very good thing. Sit back for a second, understand that your image perhaps needs to be reformed a little bit. What you spend most of your day doing, working, has to be in some way a more accurate reflection of who you are and what you want. And that's okay, right? On the 22nd, we have the Sun. On the 24th, we have Mercury, both moving into Sagittarius. So from there, it is advisable after the 22nd for you to pay a little more attention to the people around you, because to your loved ones, because they feel very left out, they feel ignored, and although they are trying very hard to be super understanding, they are lonely for you. So take that 22nd onward into December to really reconnect with your family and perhaps let go of that Seven of Wands a little bit, that need for domination, because right now all that need for control is going to do is expose you, the moon. All it's going to do is make the motivation, for this need for control. It's going to expose that, and it's going to make it very obvious to the people around you what your deepest fear is, what this fear is that you're acting off of that's making you want to control things so much. A Virgo that has lost that itch to need control of a situation is an incredibly pleasant, effective, creative joy to be around. It really is the only thing that keeps people from you, because it is when you are controlling that you become very abrasive, and you lose that ability that all mutables have to flow with life. As soon as a mutable, you lose that ability to flow, you step out of that fluidity, you become almost instantly rigid and intractable and very hard to be around, to be honest. You become very hard to please, and your expectations all of a sudden for how others should behave shoot way up and completely out of proportion from how you behave yourself. It's a set of reactions, right? So instead of doing that, and instead of getting into some long argument with yourself about what you should have done financially and how much you're owed and how much somebody owes you for what they did and what they didn't do, instead of getting into any of these arguments and any of these conversations with yourself, it really is time to be honest about what you want to do for a living. Switch it up if you need to, or look at a different facet of your career, but you need to stop blaming the past. Doesn't matter if it was you or somebody else. It's over. Doesn't matter. Be proud of it, and let's move forward. So, once again, I will tell you that if you would like to create some independence in your life, even from your career, okay, then it's very important at this time to strike while the iron is hot in terms of creating a side hustle. It could be anything. But the way the planets are lining up, if you do it now, it'll do really well, and has the potential, inshallah, God willing, of turning into something very lucrative that may in fact give you a lot more freedom in your career, because you won't need it to live off of. Okay? So once again, it is very important to take that risk. Again, hard to take a risk if you need to control everything, right? How are you ever going to take a risk? How can you take a risk when there's so many unknowns, so many variables? You see how that need for authority and control holds you back? Because you are underneath that need, which is born of fear. You are so smart, so creative, so dynamic, so witty, so funny, so fun to be around, so social, so kind. But all of it gets pushed aside, washed away, once you become afraid. Because once that fear manifests in you, you lose all of those qualities, and like I said, you step out of the flow and you become completely rigid. Now, this also has an effect on your body. If you are prone to issues that manifest in the kidneys, that life energy, it could be anything that has to do with the kidneys. It can be hair loss, it can be kidney stones, it can be fatigue, it can be easy bruising. Then this is the time to go to a doctor and, and get it looked at right away. It'll be nothing to fix right now and could be, God forbid, very serious later. So just do it. Now, on the 19th, you see this moon card here, huh? On the 19th, we have this lunar eclipse. And at this lunar eclipse, everything that I'm trying to tell you right now and trying to illustrate to you through these two very starkly contrasting images is that there has to be some gray between the two. Yeah, there has to be some flexibility. There has to be a little bit of something, some kind of a drawbridge between these very, oppositional, extremely oppositional characteristics. There needs to be something in the middle that people can hang on to. Because, let's be honest, the reason they feel so left out by the end of the month is because you're starting to think that maybe you don't need to hang on to them, and you're wrong. You get like that sometimes. You forget. That's okay. But you're wrong. Just stay on top of it. Be vigilant. Yes? Yes. All right, Virgo. The extended is on Vimeo. It is also on Patreon, along with the early part of both early parts of this earlier video. If you would like a personal reading, there's a Cameo link below. There's going to be a lunar eclipse event on Cameo Live. For more info on that, go to our Instagram, The Quietest Revolution, and join us. Become a member of the Rev Fam. All the updates and the links for the tickets will be there. All right. I'll see you in the extended right now. Love you, love you.